Alright, so let me just start this off with a quick message. The statements and opinions I'm about to discuss in this video are exactly that, statements and opinions. They apply to me and my current situation, and therefore should not be taken as some mandate that should be followed by anyone else. So with that being said, I think I'm ready to switch to a Sony. Alright, so the switch. Scene 1, take 1. This kind of makes me sad. Okay, so there aren't too many things that fuel more spirited conversations when it comes to tech than which camera system is best. Is it Canon? Is it Sony, Panasonic, Blackmagic, Fuji? People message me quite a bit asking what I think is best or what mirrorless systems I think they should buy. And I have no problems answering these questions about maybe what my experience was with a particular system as long as I've actually used it. Now, to be honest, I think it's kind of the wrong approach to be taking recommendations from brand ambassadors, blogs, and even YouTubers such as myself. The question you should be asking yourself is this: which of these fantastic tools can help me the most? Which one will best supplement my creative process and ultimately aid in realizing whatever creative visions I have? And sure, things like previous lens purchases can severely complicate that equation, but we'll get into that a little more in a bit. But the message here is this: the only person who knows what camera is best for you is you. So why is Sony all of a sudden the best for me? Well, let's start at the beginning. Most of you know I started with an old hand-me-down Canon 7D, and I had an old Sigma 30mm lens on it. After shooting with it for a while, I decided I wanted to give a full frame option a try and opted for the Canon 6D Mark II. Over that same time, I started accumulating some Canon glass. I picked up the 70-200L, the 16-35L, the 100mm, a 50, and an 85. I love that camera. It's, in my opinion, capable of taking gorgeous images. However, where I found the camera to be lacking was on the video side of things. Now, don't get me wrong, for an entry-level full-frame offering that was released in 2017, it's definitely a capable video camera. It was the perfect tool for me to transition from Instagram stories to a YouTube content creator. But as I now find myself wanting to make the jump to shooting promotional content for small businesses and real estate, it felt like a good time to update my gear. So when the Canon R5 rumor started surfacing way back when, with all of its glorious specs, I was sold. Throw in the fact that I had a bunch of Canon lenses already, it seemed like I couldn't give them my money fast enough. I was on the B&H website pre-ordering the second it was announced. I'd click on the specs tab daily, scrolling through all of the data. 45 megapixel photos, IBIS, 4K 120. I've actually never had a camera that wasn't a drone or an action camera that shot 4K or offered 120 frames per second. I'd fantasize about all of the content I could create with this tiny little monster. Then came the press release from Canon, only a few days before it was scheduled to ship. It detailed recording limitations due to overheating. Sure, some overheating was to be expected. I mean, Sony has had the exact problem in the past, but 15 minutes? This can't be right. Some of my favorite YouTubers praise the camera while downplaying all of its flaws, saying things like, if you get your shots quickly and turn it off, you should be okay. Or you don't really need to shoot in 4K HQ, the other modes are almost just as good. At the end of the day, I didn't feel right paying around $4,700, that's with cards, for a tool that wouldn't work for me. I would essentially be working for it, at its mercy, always wondering in the back of my mind if this was going to be the take that it all went to hell. See what I did there? Overheating. But in all seriousness, guys, the R5 seems to take out of this world stills. The video is gorgeous from what I've seen, and if you can make those limitations work for you, that's awesome. I just couldn't. Maybe with experience, I'll be able to move faster through setups and the shooting process, and things like this will become a non-issue. I don't know. Anyways, I spent 3 or 4 days waffling back and forth, just trying to justify why I still needed this camera. but I ultimately canceled my pre-order and was back to square one. A few days later, the Sony a7S III was announced and had pretty much everything I was looking for. I think I was also still a little bit bitter with Canon for getting my hopes so high only to crush my spirit at the last possible second. But maybe that's my fault for getting carried away with all of it, but whatever. It is what it is. The way I look at it is this: Canon doesn't owe me anything. They supply me with creative tools and I supply them with money. If the tools live up to the expectations that we've agreed upon, we're good. I'm happy, they're happy, everybody wins. But it also means that I don't owe Canon anything, and that's kind of the way it should be. Strictly business, right? So with that, it's been a good run, Canon. I can't say I ever regretted a single purchase from you, and I will continue to use my 6D Mark II and lenses for stills. And on September 24th, I'm excited once again to receive my new Sony a7S III. I've also decided to order Sigma art lenses, specifically the 14-24, 35mm, 50mm, and eventually the 85 to complete the switch. So yeah, there you have it. I feel really good about how it all ended up. I'll have a camera that complements my creative process, and one that works for me and allows me to focus on the things that actually matter. And like I said before, I'm not trash talking the R5 or Canon. If it works for you, use it. You're the only one that can decide that, not people like me or anybody else. So is this really another I'm switching to Sony video? Ugh. I guess it kind of is. But the way I see it, I'll kind of just be playing on both sides of the fence. Take that, fanboys. I'm a double agent. Nah, but for real. That's all I got. See ya.
Light up the sky, 'cause we're gonna light up.